Isn't this a great day for the state of Florida? Yeah. How about Florida's best city? Yeah, and we're standing in obviously one of our most beautiful parks in the state of Florida right here. It's my honor to introduce some of our dignitaries we have here today. Let's welcome Pat Frank, Clerk of the Court. Council Chairman Charlie Miranda. Councilman Harry Cohen. Councilman Mike Suarez. I like to be brief because I like to hear all the speakers what they had to say today. Let me introduce Sally Flynn of the Ballast Point Neighborhood Association President.
Well, it's great. The park looks beautiful, and I can't take any credit for the tot lot or anything because Katie guys suggested it, and all I said was, yes, we need one. And she went and did it, so I'm going to introduce Katie and let her tell you all her big donors and what all she did. Thank you.
Thank you. Sally had a lot to do with it, actually. It was a lot of continued support and leadership from Sally's end, but it really was an effort of the community coming together and coming after a common goal of having safer and more accessible equipment for our littlest ones in the neighborhoods. It started a few years ago, and we pulled together with all the local businesses, the schools, with friends and neighbors, with the city, the Parks and Recs Department, the City Council, and everyone contributed towards this effort. The small businesses, I want to recognize Michael and Marlena from Cellini's, Michelle from the Hair Room and Color Lounge, and Pia's. They opened their arms to us and welcomed us to have events and fundraising opportunities there, and it was fantastic. For some of the donors who contributed their financial contributions, we couldn't have done this park without those contributions, and that was the Adabos and the Weaver family and Nick Allen, who couldn't be here today, but without his contribution, this really wouldn't be the same. And here's my original inspirations over there, and here's number 2 for getting this done. But also, thank you to Melanie Higgins and for Sally Flynn. They originally inspired me and encouraged me to apply for a neighborhood mini grant. It was a small step. It was $1,000, but it really helped me articulate the vision of what we were going after. And then once we knew that, we knew what we needed to do to get there. So thank you for that. And for the Parks and Recs Department, for the initial seed money so that we knew it was possible, and for the matching funds to get us there. This result is just fantastic. And it wouldn't be the same without you. Thank you. Thank you for your help. And lastly, I want to thank the city and tip my hat to all the efforts to beautify this area for the Parks and Recs in preparing for the RNC. Just to quote Ann Romney, we built it. I had to do it. I'm really sorry. It was a bad joke. But thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
I have to tell you, folks, we cannot do this without partnerships. And Katie, fantastic. Thank you so much for all you've done for this park. And you are carrying some responsibilities. It's really nice besides the park. Thank you. Needs no introduction, but it's certainly worth it every time. On the national stage last week and here for us today, Mayor Bob Buckhorn.
Isn't this a great day? I mean, even the weather turned. We can't. Everything is breaking Tampa's way these days. It's an exciting time. Before I talk a little bit about the park, and Harry's going to be coming up right after me, I'm going to let him bring this one in for a landing. I want to thank all of the city employees that are here today for an absolutely amazing job last week. I mean, we showed the world how to put on an international event, and we set the benchmark. I mean, when you think about Minneapolis-St. Paul with 800 arrests, and we had 2, and that event ran seamlessly. At the same time, we were juggling hurricane preparation. These folks out here, our Parks Department, our public safety folks, did an amazing job. Let's give them a great round of applause. They made us all very, very proud, I may have been the face, but these were the folks and the thousands of them that made that event successful, and I couldn't be prouder of the job that they did. And like that job, which really was a partnership, so is this park. I mean, I look at people like Charlie Miranda and I look at people like Pat Frank, who were in positions when the CIT tax was passed. I mean, we all remember that, and we all remember that investment that this community decided to make in its future. This park is funded by those community investment tax dollars that was passed in 1995 and continues to be of benefit today. It allows us to do things like this park, but we couldn't do it without partners like Sally Flynn, without Melanie Higgins, without all of the folks that contributed their time and their treasure to make this happen. Like you, I have 2 little ones. That young man needs to stay away from my daughter. I'm telling you right now, because Tampa Police already has his name. Ultimately, all of us as parents and as community leaders have an obligation to leave the city in better shape than it was given to us. I mean, ultimately, that's what we do. That's why I do what I do. That's why these elected officials do what they do. But more importantly, that's what parents do. We have an obligation to give that next generation a better opportunity than we had. And projects like this, where neighbors and neighborhoods take ownership of their own destiny, where they realize that city government doesn't have all the answers and we certainly don't have all the resources, where they pitch in and they invest with their time and their treasure and their efforts and their blood and their sweat and their tears, and out of that comes a great, great facility that for decades will be enjoyed by not just his generation, but the generation after him. So I couldn't be prouder to be here today, even though it's already been open for a little while, to officially kick it off. You know, I was briefed on sort of the history of Ballast Point, and this is really cool. Back in the 1890s, a resident, Amelia Chapin, had a line of Tampa streetcar extended to her winter estate in Ballast Point. Obviously, she was one of those 1%ers. I got a whole trolley I'd sell her right now. But Ballast Point wasn't even a part of the city back in the 1800s. And so it's so cool now to see what has happened out here, to see the growth in the neighborhoods, to see the revitalization of some of the neighborhoods off of Bayshore. It is exciting for this community. I expect more of it. We want to do more. We need more growth. We need more quality of life projects like this. Congratulations to all of you. This is a great day for us, but more importantly, it's a great day for those little people right there. So thanks, everybody. Harry?
Thank you very much, Mayor. You know, on a day like today, when the weather is the way that it is and the sun is shining and you can hear the water lapping up against this park, you really can imagine how many kids are just going to love playing here. And I have to tell you, when I'm out and about, when I was at the grocery store the other day, someone came up to me out of the blue and just said, "I want you to know this is the most fabulous park. We just took our kids there. They played in the splash pad and people love it." So I wanted to do something a little different, and I wanted to close the ceremony with a poem. And it is a poem by Ralph Waldo Emerson entitled Parks and Ponds, and it's somewhat whimsical. Parks and ponds are good by day. I do not delight in black acres of the night, nor my unseasoned step disturbs the sleeps of trees or dreams of herbs. Thank you very much.